Hey everybody, this is Andy with SmokeandGrill.com. Today we're going to be preparing some smoked corned beef and cabbage and potatoes. We're going to be using the Weber Smokey Mountain Cooker, using lump charcoal. We're going to be cooking these at about 250 degrees. We're kind of estimating the cook time to be about 5 to 6 hours, and we're going to just cook them probably to about 195 degrees internal meat temperature. And we're going to be checking for tenderness along the way. That's really the key, is to cook them until tender. We're going to also prepare a honey mustard glaze. We'll provide you with that recipe as well. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just open these up and put them in a pot of cold water. And we're going to change the water 2 or 3 times over the course of a couple hours. And that's going to help reduce the salt content in the corned beef. And once that's done, we're going to put them on the smoker, and we're going to show you step by step how we prepare them, cook them, and plate them up, and we hope you enjoy the video. We're going to remove the corned beef briskets from their packaging and place them in a pot of cool water. We're going to change that water 2 or 3 times over the course of 2 hours. With about 45 minutes left in the soaking time, we're going to go ahead and get the smoker ready. We're going to be using Royal Oak lump charcoal. I really like the lump charcoal. It gives a nice natural smoke flavor. And we're going to put about 3/4 full worth of charcoal into the chimney starter. And then we light the 2 or 3 wads of newspaper at the bottom, and we get those coals nice and red hot. Should take about 10-15 minutes. We did prepare the charcoal bowl with about 75% full of lump charcoal. We did use 2 sticks of pecan wood, and we do plan on adding 1 more stick of pecan wood probably about 2 to 2.5 hours into the cook. We're just going to monitor the smoke output and try to keep it at a nice light level of smoke, and keep it going for about 3.5 hours. This method of starting charcoal is referred to as the minion method, and basically it boils down to placing a small amount of lit charcoal on top of a larger quantity of unlit charcoal. This allows the burn to progress through the unlit charcoal in a very slow and consistent manner, as long as you're controlling your airflow, and your result is very long, consistent burns, which is what you want. This particular cook will probably be about 5 to 6 hours, and this is more than enough charcoal to accomplish that. That's one of the great things about Weber Smokey Mountain Cookers, is with your ability to control the airflow through the 3 lower vents, you can control that temperature and control the length of that burn to fit whatever your needs are, whether you're looking for a short high heat cook or looking for a very long low and slow cook of 10+ hours. This is definitely the way to go. We are looking to maintain a temperature of 250 degrees in the cooking chamber, so I am using a full water pan during this cook. My general rule of thumb is, if you're going to be cooking at 250 degrees or below, go ahead and use the water pan. I really have a much better success in keeping those temperatures low and consistent with that water pan full of water. If I'm cooking higher heats, 275 and above, then I will just go with an empty foiled water pan. That seems to work really well for me. At this point in the cook, the internal temperature of the corned beef briskets has reached 165 degrees. We're going to go ahead and wrap each brisket in foil. We're going to do a nice tight wrap. This will help seal in the moisture of the brisket, and it'll allow the brisket to tenderize when it goes from that temperature of 165 degrees up to, say, 190 to 195. One, it helps it get there quicker, but it will help really keep that meat moist and help the connective tissue in that meat break down, so that we wind up with a very nice juicy, tender piece of corned beef. Once we're done wrapping these corned beef briskets, we're going to go ahead and do our prep work for the glaze that we're going to be applying to each one of these after they reach 195 degrees and we remove the foil. We're going to be using the following ingredients: honey, butter, dark corn syrup, dry mustard, orange juice, and garlic cloves. I did give these garlic cloves a rough chop and followed the recipe otherwise, and this came out great. So now we've finished making our glaze, and the briskets have reached 195 degrees internal temperature. So we're going to remove the foil, and we're going to proceed to glaze the top side of each brisket, and we're going to replace the cover and let that set for about 10 or 15 minutes. When 10 or 15 minutes is up, we're going to flip those corned beef briskets over and glaze the other side and let them sit for another 10-15 minutes in the cooker until that glaze has caramelized nicely and is done setting. And then we're going to remove those briskets from the cooker, and we're going to let them rest for about 15-20 minutes before slicing. While they are finishing up, I did want to mention that we did make some cabbage and potatoes, and this was a very simple recipe. We just chopped up the potatoes and the cabbage and put it in a pot with some chicken stock, salt, pepper, some onion powder, and we brought all that to a boil, reduced the heat, let it simmer until tender, and that came out great as well. After we've let these corned beef briskets rest for 20 minutes or so, we're ready to slice and serve. And these came out very tender, very juicy, and extremely flavorful. And they're a family favorite that is not just for St. Patrick's Day. We hope to enjoy these again and again throughout the year. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please stop by and visit us at smokeandgrill.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Smoke and Grill. And we will see you next time.